Hey Roscoe, it's Tuesday and that's my day. I was sat down, ready to make this a few hours ago, but I remembered that my housemate had a Skype job interview, so I went out for a bit instead and got you this nice footage to look at. Right, now that we can properly start, today's video is going to have 4 parts. Part 1 is some things that blew my mind. This weekend I went to visit Anna at her university for the first time since she went there. It's a very lovely place and it was very nice to see her, but the thing that blew my mind was the lift in the library. I think it's called a conveyor belt lift. Instead of having one carriage that just goes up and down, it has loads on a continuous loop like this, round and round, and they never stop. You have to just jump on and jump off, and it's the weirdest thing I've ever done in my life. We've got some video of what it's like to be inside when you're going past a floor, and I asked Anna really nicely if we could go all the way around at the top and start going back down again, which we did, and it was the weirdest thing ever. I didn't get any footage of that, but you go past the floor and you can feel that you're going to the side, and then you just start coming down again, and it's the strangest thing. It just took me so long to get my head around it. It's absolutely bizarre. This one in the University of Essex Library is one of the oldest ones in the UK, I think. And there aren't that many left in the UK either. It might be how they used to do lifts, but don't quote me on that because I'm really not sure. The second thing that blew my mind this weekend was on the way home. After a few complications with Sunday train times and train lines out of order, I eventually got to London and then I had to get on the DLR. I had no idea what the DLR was until I went to Essex in the first place. But it stands for Dockland Light Rail, and it's basically just a really lightweight train that only goes in one place, just up and down all day. And the thing about this train is that it has no driver at either end. I was sat at the actual front of the train as if I could have been the driver. I could see straight out the front and I was going forwards. It was the weirdest thing. I'd never seen a train track from that point of view before. And I'd never seen trains without drivers before, and basically I just thought it was really cool. Being on the DLR leads me on to part 2 of the video. I got on the train, put my bag down on the chair next to me, and I was all excited because I was at the front and I could film out the front of the train, and I did. And I got to my stop because it was only one stop away, so it was only a quick one. Grabbed my bag, got up, walked through to the station, went to go through the barrier for the next train, and I didn't have my wallet. I didn't have my wallet. I think that moment there was the most scared I've ever been in my life. I checked my bag, I checked my pockets, I checked my coat pockets. I definitely didn't have it. My wallet had all my train tickets, it had my bank card, it had my driving licence, it had everything of importance to me apart from my phone and keys in it at that moment. You can probably hear in my voice that I'm getting stressed just talking about it. It was an absolutely horrible situation. I ran back to the other train station, which for those of you that know me knows a big deal because I don't run anywhere. I ran back to that train station. The train I was on had left, but another train had arrived, so I asked the only member of staff on that train what he thinks I should do. Explained my situation. He sent out a walkie-talkie message to all the other trains running that day that there was a lost wallet on one of the trains and could they have a look. I told him where I was sat. Luckily I was right at the front, so it was an easy seat to find, and luckily it turned up. He told me he had to go because he had to stay with his train, but he told me to use the emergency phone on the platform to ring the DLR and tell them that I was the guy that had lost the wallet. So I did that. He told me that they'd found my wallet, but that I'd have to wait at the train station for the train it was on to come back to me. I ended up waiting about 40 minutes. The only reason I could sit there and do nothing for 40 minutes because I knew that my wallet was on the way. I'm so lucky to have my wallet back, and it was unbelievable how scared I was for those few minutes. Now, I lose my wallet all the time, it happens, but I've never lost it in a public place before. It's normally just in the front room or under a coat somewhere or on a shelf somewhere. I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't got it back because it had my tickets in it, so I couldn't have got on any trains. It had my bank card in it, so I couldn't have paid for any more tickets. I really, truly don't know what I would have done if it hadn't come back to me. Part 3. Roscoe, you talked about suits in your last video, and today I had a job interview, so I had to suit up myself. I was being interviewed to see if I can be an ambassador for the university, so that would involve working on open days and welcoming prospective students and new students to the university, as well as going out into local schools in the area and promoting the idea of higher education and university to people that think they might not be able to get there. And it's a job that I really hope I get because I really don't agree with the idea that university is only for certain people. I really do believe it's for everybody, and that's an idea I really want to push. Finally, part 4 of the video is just a little quick one. You mentioned Doctor Who last week, and you mentioned the end for Amy and Rory. I think that I liked it. It made me sad, and I'm a big River Song fan. I think she's a really interesting character. Every episode of her in, you always see a really different side to the Doctor than you normally see, and you see a different side to her each time. Like you said, the whole Amy storyline from the beginning has been about her choosing between the Doctor and Rory. And it was nice to see her finally choose Rory. I think, like you said, we all knew she was going to choose Rory, but it was nice to see it happen. That's all from me this week, and Roscoe, I'll see you on Friday. Hello. Hello,